Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about year 2 under Ross. It's all done. It's all done. This is obviously the sequel to the video I did 12 months ago, 1 year under Ross, which was quite a big video. A lot happened in that first season, but obviously the second season's taken place, and obviously it's nearly Christmas and New Year's, so perfect timing to sum it all up. I think we should all be pretty happy with our progress under Ross. I think we're in pretty good hands from what we can tell. I think the first season we got our kind of spike, but the second season, from what it taught us about Ross in particular, because that's who this video is about, is that I don't think he's as strict and I guess focused on his one wood, which is what we all were kind of focused on when he first came back, was defense. And we're going to be boring defensively. We're just going to not kick goals. We're going to have 40 to 50, points per game. And yes, that has come up. That's a common sort of discussion. Is Ross going to be able to adapt to the fast style of football that obviously some of the best teams play? And that's obviously the best way to give yourself a chance of winning a flag, is to play some exciting, expansive football. And that's the biggest surprise, I think. That's the biggest surprise, is he is willing to adapt. Ross is willing to adapt, and I don't think he's only just adapting. He might actually be leading, I guess, a new way of football. And I mean, it's too early. I'm jumping the gun there a little bit. But I just think with the way we're going and the strategy behind the players that we're recruiting, the way we want to play our football, particularly the back end. I don't really focus too much on the first 10 games of 2024. I don't really think that was anywhere near what Ross was after. I think that was just just poor form, just poor execution, and more reflective of probably the youth in the team, and being a young squad, we're going to have those sort of ups and downs. But then the back end, when a young team is pretty confident, it's actually really exciting to see, and they can be hard to stop at times. So for us to be able to take us from, a really defensive, tough unit in 23, and then in the back end of 24, be able to mold it to still have that solidity in the back half, but also still have, to also then be able to go forward and be a bit more expansive and play the way some of these top teams play. You look at Brisbane, huge scores, but also top 5 defensively. Benchmark. Ross knows that's the way football is going, and I think it's pretty obvious everyone's chasing Brisbane now. But I think Ross, to be able to adapt like that, has surprised me, and he's probably not gotten the credit he deserves from the wider community, because everyone just takes, the first part of the season, and obviously non-Sainers probably don't watch as much St Kilda as what we do, and they just assume, well, Ross is just going to be boring. Ross, 2025, they're going to play the same way. They're going to be boring. They're not going to kick goals. It's like, dig a bit deeper than that, and you'll kind of see that what he's putting into place is a team that is absolutely hell-bent on kicking big scores and winning by big margins and hurting the opposition. He's not building a team that wants to grind through games. Yes, at times you're going to need to grind. And to be honest, that was the first thing he taught us, was how to grind. Second part is execution, it's efficiency, it's slickness, and then explosiveness. And you slowly see that sort of stuff coming in. And then with the draft, we've just hit, again, the same players have topped up. So year 1 of Ross was very much, I think, a foundation year where he established his principles that we've known for so long, that has proven successful for him over a period of 10 to 15 years in the system, in the AFL system. But the second year was a tinkering year, if you will, where for one reason or another, whether it was injuries, whether it was the way football was going, whether it was maybe he looked at the squad more broadly and thought, we need to go this way now. This is the way the squad's developed. We're not playing a certain way that's not going to be supportive of the team. let's play a way that emphasizes every single strength that every player on this list has. And that's running, and that's pressure, and just really putting the opposition under enormous pressure. And that's what Ross has always been so good at, is kind of ignoring your flaws and emphasizing your strengths. And we emphasized our strengths in the back end of the season, and it got us a win-loss ratio of 8-4, whatever it was. And I think we're going to see more of that in 2025. So 2023 got me excited to have Ross back. 2024 makes me bullish of the team under Ross, you know? I think we're slowly getting to the team that he wants. 23, he didn't have the team he wanted. He had the team that he established. And I think we'll start to bear fruits. You know, you'll start to see that sort of stuff happening from next year onwards. So I'm really excited. I think year 2 was a success. As crazy as that might sound, I think I've said that many times. Some people might disagree with me on that. But when you look at the player development, more notably, it's all the long-term effects, all the things that need to be in place or sort of in motion now for long-term success. They weren't there in 22. They were there a little bit in 23, but they really were there in 24, regardless of what the win-loss was and not making finals. I spoke to Asana recently, and he believes, similar to me, that under Ross, he doesn't think that progress is going to be linear. I firmly don't believe that. I think sometimes you take a couple of steps forward, you take 10 steps back, and then you go 20 steps forward, and that's just how football is. He thinks, and I agree, that we will go from 0 to 100 at some point. You know, it'll just be a grenade will go off, and we would have just announced ourselves overnight. Like, I think it'll happen really quick. I'm not saying it's going to happen next year or even the year after that, but I think at some point when all of these youngsters start to get 40, 50 games under their belts, you know, and some of the youngsters we've played over the last couple of years get closer to 60, 70, 80. Some of them are going to play 100 games in 2 or 3 years' time already, and they wouldn't have hit 25 years old yet. So I think the demographic of the squad that we've got is really exciting, and I give Ross full credit behind that. Obviously, there's a team of coaching and recruitment that isn't Ross, but the foundation and the mentality of the football club now firmly comes from Ross's approach and obviously Andrew Bassett. So I give those guys their plaudits. But for the team to be able to carry that through and take that on board is really exciting. So year 2 for me, big success. I obviously said year 1 was a big success as well. So 2 years, pretty happy about that. The pressure will go on probably at the end of next year, depending on how next year goes, just because that's free agency and, you know, we don't want to miss out on some of these big fish, because then 2026 I really think is the year that, quietly, I think that's the year that Ross and Bassett and the rest of the board really think we will push pretty hard. So, yeah, that's just kind of my 2 cents on year 2 under Ross Sainers. Love to hear your thoughts on year 2 under Ross. Put it in the comments. Let me know how you feel. I'll be putting out content over the next couple of weeks as well, irrespective of Christmas. I know I said I'll probably take a break, but I just love jumping on the mic and having a chat with you guys. So, yeah, that'll be my holidays for sure. But yeah, put your thoughts in the comments. Please like the video as well and subscribe. Let's get to 13,000 before round 1 next year. We have about 88 dates, not that I'm counting. We have about 88 days, not that I'm counting. So let's try and get to 13K very soon. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. I really appreciate it. So thanks, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your holiday period. And yeah, take care. And as always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.